With new guitars coming out, a big question comes up. What's the best value and mix of features? Today, we're putting to the test a popular Furch that we've been carrying, which is the Violet Deluxe, against the very, very new Taylor 314 CE Studio. So stick around. Hey, you're watching Alamo Music TV. My name is Chris McKee.
I'm Cooper Greenberg.
And we are here with Alamo Music in San Antonio, Texas. You can find us online at alamomusic.com. If you're new to our channel, wherever you've been, we're so glad you're here. Make sure you subscribe, turn on notifications, like our videos. If you want to support the channel, you can visit our spring store link below for custom swag and check out our podcast, the Fretboard Confessional, wherever you get your podcasts at. So we've done reviews of both of these guitars. They are similar enough. It makes a lot of sense, both feature-wise and cost-wise, to compare them. They are, of course, the new and already popular Taylor 314 CE Studio, this time in a burst, versus also a popular, we can't hardly keep it in stock, Furch Violet Deluxe. And very close in feature parity, very close in price. It'll be interesting to see what comes out on top and who prefers what.
Yeah, so 314 CE Studios was kind of one of those that we were like, how are folks going to take this, because it's a departure from what people know as the 314.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a bunch of options in the 300 series now, and so it's like, was this one too many, options in that series? Luckily, it's taken off, and we've been reordering them, and people dig them, and I think that they are really nice guitars. That guitar we mentioned in our top under 2000 list. Mm-hmm. We did a separate video on it, just solo, right? And it was probably the most called about Furch guitar that we carry.
Yeah.
I want to take a pause here because there's comments all the time in the past that was like, Taylor must be paying these guys a lot because we talk about Taylor and we like them so much. I saw one the other day. Yes, I'm talking to you, at whoever. Furch must be doing some major kickbacks to these guys. We just like the guitars. Our boss pays us. The manufacturers do not pay us or anybody to do these videos.
I was begging Furch for a guitar. Like, what kind of a deal can I get? I have to pay for it.
Yeah.
When it's all said and done. So
we don't get paid for these.
Yeah, come on.
We do get paid for them, but it's by Alamo. So get that out of your head.
You pay us. What are you talking about?
Yeah, come on. That YouTube revenue that doesn't go into our pockets. So, we got two very popular guitars that kind of boomed for us at the end of 2024, mm-hmm. and now we got them both in stock at the same time. We got to talk about them. These are Grand Auditoriums with cutaways and pickups with a spruce top and either sapele or mahogany back and sides, and they are both really good.
Yeah, and video. Now, they are both really good. I actually want to touch on something I realized with the change of the year, the introduction of this model, and the ending of 50th anniversary models. One of the popular guitars was the 50th anniversary 314 CE that was available in a very similar burst, had a torrefied top, an all-gloss body, and gold tuners. And that guitar, you might still find some of them out there in retailers. I think we're completely sold out, and they're gone. It was a 50th anniversary. That happened last year. No mas. But this guitar has a lot of those same features.
Yeah.
It's got either the natural finish or the same burst. It's all gloss as well. It's got a torrefied top. What's changed is basically the inlay, the lack of gold tuners, and the lack of binding, if you really care about that kind of stuff. But you gain chamfered edges instead. You lose a case, you get a gig back, and it's cheaper. So for those people that really liked really, to me, the big thing was the gloss body and the torrefied top of that 314 CE 50th anniversary, this fills that need at a lower price point. You get a narrow nut, you get a gig bag, and you get to save some money. So that hit me the other day because we had someone in store looking for a 314 CE 50th anniversary. We had just sold our last one, and I was like, hey, you know what? A lot of those same features are in the studio model. Suddenly that was like, wow, yeah, that's a really good deal.
And unlike the 50th anniversary, the 51st anniversary models are not limited. So this is part of the line. So you can continue to get these. Big thing that I thought was going to be a huge deal breaker for people was this is 1/11/16. It hasn't really come up. People either like the feel or they don't.
Yeah.
And it sounds really good. And if you prefer 11/16 versus 3/4, this is for you. But if you don't have a preference, it doesn't matter to you, and this feels
Yeah,
really
some
good.
people don't have a preference, but there were people that in the past wanted the narrow nut, and I'd have to do special orders,
order,
when it was available.
Yeah.
So, so very similar features. Now, big differences. Let's talk about that. This is not a gloss body. It does not have a torrefied top. It is using African mahogany instead of sapele, although similar tone woods that are involved. Of course, it doesn't have V-class bracing because it's a Furch, not a Taylor. It is using their proprietary tuned top process. And I got to say, we don't talk about that enough when it comes to Furch. Gosh, that must make a difference. That was one of the things that Peter and them would not show us when we were there. They talked a little bit about and had that great demonstration on frequencies on tops and bracing and all of that stuff, but we didn't get to see how they're going about tuning these tops after they're braced. But they're just, consistently we get this comment from people who try them in the store of how resonant and how great Furch sound. This has the CNR neck. That's a bolt-on neck too, so very similar there. 1 3/4 inch nut. Similar profiled necks, although I think on the Violet it's a little shallower compared to the Taylor. Very similar tuners. They both have gig bags that are in no cases on either of these. And this also has a pickup system. So that has Taylor's proprietary ES2 pickup system, which has 3 piezo elements in the bridge behind the saddle. This is using LR bags. Very popular element. And it's the Stage Pro, so you got controls on the side with the tuner. And if you happen to be unlucky and 43 like me, you might have to read the tuner like that nowadays, but it still works.
That one does not have chamfered edges, but what you lack in the chamfer, you get in not 1, but 2 bevels.
How many bevels?
It's a bevel duo.
It's a duo bevel.
Yeah.
So it's a duo of bevels. Yeah, this is actually one of the biggest things at this price point. That's about a $2,000 guitar, a little bit more for the burst.
Yeah.
But $1999 is the intro price for the natural 314 CE, and this is about $1,500. So for $500 less, made in Europe, you get this with the bevels, and I think that's one of the reasons when we did it, it struck a chord and resonated with people.
Yeah.
That and the
like
Violet,
the top.
like the top. That and the fact that the Violet used to, when they first introduced it, was solid top, laminate back and sides, and they're like, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna make it all solid.
They made all the right changes.
And like that one, no binding on the back. They did bind the top to give you that bevel. But it's a really stripped down guitar that sounds really good.
Yeah, both very comfortable to play. Everybody likes a GA with the cutaway. Rhyming up a storm over here. Let's take a listen to both.
All right, so there you have it. So Cooper, you just ran these through their paces. I want to pick your brain of what you hear different from the response and the tone of these two guitars from these respective builders.
I think both of these manufacturers, we talked in a different Taylor video today. Taylor, while there's a wide spectrum of guitars, they do have a bit of a signature sound. And I think the winner about that guitar is a standard 314 sounds really good. And it's one of their most popular guitars for a reason. And with the adjustments that they've made to bring the price down, you still get that sound, which is a nice spruce and mahogany, really, kind of sound with the brightness and the projection of the spruce top, but the mid-range from the mahogany or sapele in this case. And I think that Furch, obviously, looking at their GA with the cutaway, they have Taylor inspiration in a lot of ways, from the construction to the look, and they have their own thing too. I think that this one, I might be getting a bit of a placebo effect because it's a satin finish, but I feel like this one had a little bit drier kind of tone that was a little more, I don't know, this one had a little bit more of that kind of sparkle, and this was kind of fundamental, but they do sound similar to me. I will say that this is a tough comparison because I've been really hot on this guitar and I've been really hot on this guitar. I think the aesthetic takes that one over the top for me because I really like the burst, and I am a fan of how it looks with kind of the reveal binding chamfered edge thing.
Yeah.
But comfortability-wise with the bevels on this one, and I will say I'm a little bit bigger of a 1 3/4 fan. I think left hand was happy on this one, but not unhappy on that one. So that one has got the Taylor sparkle with that wood pairing, the tone woods ring true. This one felt a little more mellow, a little drier, but I really like that too.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I really like both. You can get down to nitpicking. I noticed that the finish on the neck of this feels a little different than the finish on that. That's more open pore. You can hear it. In fact, I don't know if you can hear it. Versus. But this definitely
I don't think we're allowed to do that. It's not for kids.
It's 2025.
It's the 90s.
So this one definitely has a nicer finish to it. And it feels better from that standpoint. I do typically prefer 1 3/4 inch nut width. It's what I'm used to, but I've kind of gotten over that over the years, and this feels fine. I really liked when these came out, the gloss finish. I was never a fan, I've said this before, of a gloss top, satin back and sides. It's like, make it all gloss, make it all satin, pick one.
Yeah.
But the sapele body on these, along with, like you said, that reveal binding, I think looks absolutely stellar with
pops.
the finish that they've been doing on these guitars.
It pops.
And when it comes to Taylor specifically, I think another video that we need to do at some point is if you have like a 214 Deluxe version versus this, you're so close in price, making the jump to a US built all solid guitar is almost like a no-brainer with this. Now, when you compare these two, it does get a little difficult. You get the bevels over there, make that more comfortable. You get the wider nut width, and you're saving some money. It's such a fantastic deal on a guitar. It's kind of, given where guitar prices have gone, a little surprising.
Yeah.
But I've said this for a while with Furch. I think they make this conscious effort. We're going to put this guitar out. We're going to do it at this price to be a value because we want to turn your head and get you to notice our company. We're making good stuff over here. Yeah. And they are. And so, yeah, it's almost a toss-up between these. It might come down to if you have the additional $500 or if you just want something more simplistic and comfortable like that.
Yeah. I think it's those details that are going to make people choose between one or the other. All gloss, all satin. They're both all solid. They're both virtually the same wood pairing, same kind of shape. You can get this one in a natural as well. And can you get a violet with a burst on it?
It's a good question. I don't think so.
I'm not sure.
Well, you know what? Probably, but I've never seen it on any of the in-stock lists or price lists.
It's fun because we talked about there's a lot of options in 300 series. Go on Furch's website and look at each color series and how many body styles and different things you can get. When it comes to bevels, currently you're only getting that on a GA with cutaway.
Or the
that
new
one-
Dreadnought Performance.
yeah.
Yeah, the blue Performance models.
But I think they're going to bring some of those fan favorites thing, fill out that line a little bit more. But I mean, we were looking at the blue series yesterday. You got deluxes and pluses, and you know, there's really a ton there to make sure it's the exact right thing, and their customizability is fantastic. With Taylor, now on the 300 series, you get less to customize, but you do have a lot of options. You got Builder's Edition with 324, you got Grand Concerts and 12 frets and standards and studios and all that. You know, there's a lot to choose from in this range, and prices vary within there, but they both give you a lot of options. I think these are probably two of the best options within their respective categories, but you know, we can get other stuff for you too.
A lot of bang for the buck. So I'd like to hear from you guys who watch this video. Let us know in the comments what you think about these two guitars, which one would get your pick. And you know, I gotta say, I'm just ecstatic about the value and the incredible guitars, quality-wise, that are coming out from so many companies. It's a great time to be a guitar player because there's some really cool, fun stuff.
There's never a bad time to be a guitar player.
It's a good time to make guitar videos.
True. And if you're not a guitar player, but you're watching the videos, what are you waiting for? Let's go.
Get in there.
Yeah.
So let us know your preference. Maybe you bought one of these. Maybe you've been in the market for one of them. But just let us know in the comments below. And you can check out details for either of these models and the others from these manufacturers and in these series on our website, which is
alamomusic.com.
You got to make that a jingle at some point, like .com or something like that, you know?
Expedia.com. Don't copyright strike us.
So if you're new to our channel, make sure you subscribe, turn on notifications, like our videos, keep coming back, and we will see you next time.